Hi, beautiful people. I hope you can hear me. Let me know if you can. I don't know if I am showing on the thingy bob doohickey that I put on the, what do you call it? Sorry, I'm not very good with these things, am I? The little highlighted thing that I had to do. So I don't know. A few technical problems. Don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. So if you're watching me, great. I hope you are. I'm just trying to save all of this to and share this. So for some bizarre reason, it's not allowed me to go live.
For some bizarre reason, it's not allowed me to go live. For some bizarre reason, it's not allowed me to go live. For some bizarre reason,
Echo. Yeah, so it's not allowed me to go live on the thingamajig. Oh, I can't think of the blooming name of it now. So if you are waiting there, I'm very sorry. You're going to have to go over to the new live that I've had to do, and there's no thumbnail. That's the word that I'm looking for, thumbnail. So, hi. Whoever's watching me, hello. Please pop a comment into the box, into the chat box. I did do a thumbnail for this, and unfortunately, that thumbnail won't let me go live from there. I don't know why. Obviously, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. And I've had to quickly change from my selfie stick, which I wanted to do because I wanted to record this live in a landscape format, but it's told me I've got to do it in a portrait format. So it's not really what I wanted to do, but hey ho, beggars can't be choosers. That's my lack of technology. So I hope you're all doing well. Just bear with me a second because I need to go on to something else as well. Because as I say, it's given me a different link for the live. So bear with me. If you are watching, please hit the like button. It'd be great to have a like. And yeah, comment in the chat box, but please keep it nice and polite and friendly. And yeah, try to be nice to each other. I'd hate to have people being mean to each other. I don't have a moderator, so it would really help if you could all just be really nice to each other. Thank you. So today, there's quite a few topics that I want to discuss. And again, I apologize for the technical issues that I had at the start. If you are watching, I am sorry that I've had to go live on a different place to the thumbnail. I don't know what I'm doing. So I need to do a little bit more research into YouTube's technological side so that I can not have the same snafu in the future. So if you're watching, say hi, click the like button if you can. So today I'm going to talk about Russell Brand, and I'm looking at a couple of different screens, my notes as well. So please bear with me. I have a very, very, very strange setup here because I've got my old desktop that I'm using for the comments, and I've got obviously my phone, which I'm using for recording. And I have my laptop set up for the articles that I'm going to read for you guys. I do not have the technology to put the articles up onto the screen. I will put the links into the description box below when I have finished the stream. Again, it's all down to finances. I don't have a camera that I can set up to do the whole, really professional look that I know a lot of you guys do. Very envious. But also I'm trying to increase my subscribers, and I want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers who've joined me over the past week or so. I really, really, really appreciate it all. Please share if you can with your friends, family, anybody who you think would enjoy this, or to any chat groups. And like I say, if you do have questions or comments that you want to make, please pop them into the comments and I shall try to respond to them. But please also, if you can, be polite. Try to keep it civil in the comments. Don't want to get shouted at by YouTube. So as I say, I'm going to be speaking about Russell Brand. I'm going to be speaking about Andrew Tate. The two are linked actually today. I'm also going to be speaking about some Grape statistics, which unfortunately I feel the need to go through because I get a lot of comments on my channel, and some of you who watch me regularly will know that I get a lot of comments from men who seem to refute the Grape statistics and the SA statistics against women. So I'm going to be discussing that, looking at that in a little bit further detail. Then I've got a really nice story for all of you that I want to go through. I'm going to talk about the full moon tomorrow evening. I'm also going to talk about my running gear that I'm an ambassador for Just Strong. It's a ladies brand of running gear, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to be doing an unboxing of some snag tights. I'm sorry, I know I'm a lady, so I am doing this stuff. And I've got some RIP news to do as well, so I do apologise for that. I want to say hi to Cool Kid. Hi. Clipped by Junior Clown. Hi to you. Bonjour. So thank you for saying hello. Please, as I say, be polite in the chat if you can, and chat to each other. You're welcome to. Ask me questions if you want to. I am going to try and answer those questions, but I do have a lot that I want to talk about in today's live. So I'm going to go over onto Russell Brand to start with. Some of you will know he has been charged this past week with SA and Grape. And he did actually release a statement, and I'm just trying to find it now because I've clicked all the tabs above. So he released a statement to say that he was not guilty of these charges. So I am going to play these, and I'm going to have to keep quiet because otherwise I get feedback. So just bear with me a second.
Very fortunate in a way to live in a time where there's so little trust. Very fortunate in a way to live in a time where there's so little trust.
Yeah, I thought it would do that. It's giving feedback. So, okay, not going to be able to play that because it's echoing around. Okay, j'écoute. I don't know what that means. Je is I think, or you. So as in you or I as in a person. So yeah, my French is not very good. But Russell Brand has basically refuted the claims of Grape and SA against him, which obviously he has a right to. These are allegations. These are not actual. He has not been found guilty in a court of law. He is, of course, innocent until proven guilty. However, my heart goes out to the thanks. Do I smell? I don't smell. Michael Murray, that's very rude. If you make any more rude comments, you'll be bumped off, I'm afraid. So, yeah. So, as I say, Russell Brand has been accused of these charges, these offences, and he's come forward and said that he's not guilty. Now, in his video that he did, he actually said he seemed to blame the British government for these charges, that all of a sudden these are coming against him and you know, this is happening to him. Now, first of all, there's no statute of limitations here in the United Kingdom when it comes to SA and DV and Grape. So, yes, these charges can be placed against him. But he sort of brought up the fact that he thinks that the legal system here in the United Kingdom is wrong. And he did mention the Southport unalivings that happened last year and how that was handled by the government. Now, I just want to go through something that happened with regards to that. Russell Brand, Andrew Tate, and Nigel Farage, who is the head of the Reform Party here in the United Kingdom, all went online and intonated that the person responsible for the unalivings was what they call illegal migrant, which is actually an asylum seeker. And this sort of created uproar and uprising throughout the people of Southport, and a lot of the right-wing fascists decided to go to Southport to create havoc after this unaliving happened. Now, the man that committed these crimes, Axel Ridder-Cabana, he was charged and he was found guilty and he has been sentenced to life. He unalived Alice, Bibi and Elsie, 3 little girls who were at a Taylor Swift yoga dance class in Southport. And I wonder if Russell Brand actually went to the memorial, the flower memorial that was there in Southport's city centre. I did. I have family who live there. And my sister actually knows one of the ladies who lives on the street where that occurred. In fact, her house was the one where the wall was pulled down for the bricks that were being thrown at the police and so on. And yes, I did visit there. And the fact that Russell Brand brought that up in this response is just despicable. It's what we call DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim offender. It's a narcissistic behavioral technique that they will do. First of all, he's denying the charges. He's attacking the people who have laid the charges against him, the police. He's reversing who the offender is, saying that the offender is actually the British police and the government here, and he is making himself out to be the victim. So that is typical behavior of a narcissist. However, there have actually been some new allegations that have come forward. He is facing a possibility of prosecution in the US. This is an article that I'm reading from the Sun newspaper. I know it's the Sun, it's a red top, but you know, we have access to it. So Russell Brand fears the possibility of prosecution in the US over an alleged essay on a film set, legal documents obtained by the Sun on Sunday's show. We can also reveal Warner Brothers is willing to hand over outtakes and other footage from his movie Arthur after a woman claimed he attacked her on the set in 2010. So he faces those charges as well. And he's obviously worried about that. How is that going to affect the charges here in the UK? I don't know, but he is due to appear in court in the UK on the 2nd of May. So I will be keeping my eye on that. Unfortunately, on the 2nd of May, I am not going to be here. I am away that weekend because I am pagan, I am a witch, and it is Beltane. So he was also scheduled to talk at an event in, where was it now? It was a free speech event, which strangely he's been cancelled from, at New College of Florida in Sarasota. So this is from the Mirror. Russell Brand's first public appearance since being charged with Grape has been postponed. He was scheduled to appear at an event to speak about free speech, censorship and cultural power just days after he was charged with the S offences. So yeah, they've postponed it, and rightly so, in my opinion. If somebody has been charged with and has these allegations against them, I believe that they should take a step back from public life, from their normal duties, and, you know, wait until the court case is done. You know, when you look at the Labour Party recently, his surname is Norris, can't remember his first name. He was suspended from the Labour Party when allegations were put against him of SA and, of course, of paedophilia, which is just disgusting. But I believe that it should happen to everybody equally, whether you are male or female, whether you are famous, rich or poor. It's that simple. Hi, Kate. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. Makes me feel really happy. Thank you. So he's been cancelled at that university event that he was going to take part on. They released a statement saying, it is clear the current media climate is a distraction from the deeper purpose of the event, and it will now be rescheduled to an as yet unknown date. At New College, we remain committed to creating spaces for honest and often challenging conversations. Free speech is not a performance, it's a principle. Now, I believe in free speech. Absolutely, we should all be able to speak freely. However, when free speech becomes hate, that's when we have a problem. You know, free speech can become hate speech so quickly. And looking back at what happened with the Southport unalivings last year in the summer, the free speech that Brand, Tate and Farage partook in was perhaps aimed at being hate speech, to create a response of people who are bigoted and who dislike people of another colour or from another country, and to go to Southport to riot against this horrific attack. And they were then instructed by certain people online through different social media platforms. They were then instructed to commit arson on hotels where asylum seekers were living. That is just absolutely horrendous, that from this unaliving of these 3 young little girls, they were then targeted, you know, to create this other violence around this one specific issue, which was bad enough. So we have to be aware that free speech is not only free speech, but we also have to be aware of what we say in that free speech. Paul, okay, thank you. Kate Smith, Russell Brand is a disgrace. He became right-wing to be protected from prosecution. Hi, Michelle, lovely to see you. Yes, Kate, you're right. He became right-wing a few years ago. He went a bit bonkers. I mean, he admits that he is a sex addict and a drug addict, or was, and has overcome those. He then went on, because he was, of course, part of the Anonymous movement, the Million People March in London, fighting against the Tory government at the time. And then he seemed to go a bit off the rails, and he started following a Buddhist path, teaching yoga, which I have nothing against, because I'm a yoga instructor. But he seemed to pick and choose little bits of the theology around Buddhism and twist it and manipulate it into ways that he wanted to. And then he converted to Christianity, and in his apology, he was sort of praising the Lord, and almost as if he was asking the Christian community to forgive him for what he is being charged for, or allegedly charged for. Whether that is the case or not, I do not know, but that is what I picked up from that. And regardless if you are a Christian, a Buddhist, a Hindu, Islam, whoever you are and whatever belief or religion you are, if you commit any sort of crime, you should face the just punishment for that. Hi, Diz, lovely to see you. Thank you for following the live. Let me know what you think, because this is, I think it's about the 5th time I've gone live. The others were very impromptu, and I'm a little bit nervous today, so bear with me. Let me have a sip of water. So yeah, let's see what happens on the 2nd of May. Let's see what else comes up. Oh, and as I say, he is also facing possible charges in New York for some more essay charges that occurred on the set of the movie Arthur in 2010. So that will be interesting to find out what happens in the future. Then going to one of his mates, Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate, as we know, has been charged with various essay offences in Romania, here in the United Kingdom and in America. I'm not going to go into the details of all of them. If you want to find out all of the charges, you can go on the Romanian website. You will need to translate it into English because it is in Romanian. And it gives you all of the charges that are on there. There are about 45 women who have come forward with charges of SA, SV and Grape against him. There are also charges of sex trafficking, and I think there's also charges of fraud, tax evasion, and so on. There are over 75,000 pages of evidence against the Tates in that case. Then, of course, there are 4 victims here or alleged victims here in the United Kingdom who have various charges against the Tate brothers. And there are, I believe, 2 or 3 in Florida I think 2 in Florida, 1 in California, who have charges against Tate as well. And recently, a woman is going to be suing Andrew Tate for pointing a gun at her. He pointed a gun in her face. This is an article from the Daily Mail online. Andrew Tate pointed a gun at my face and warned there would be hell to pay if I crossed him, claims new woman suing toxic influencer. So this is a new charge. This is on top of the other charges. Now, I do want to recommend that if you want to find out all about the Tates and what they have done, what they get up to on the clown world that is the manosphere of Tates, please have a look at Gadget. He is on YouTube. I will put a link to Gadget in the description box below after I finish the live stream. Just too many things for me to do while I'm going live, and I'm not experienced enough at this yet. But Gadget is brilliant on this, and Gadget is actually apparently being sued by the Tates for all of the investigation that he has done, and he really is on top of things. They hold regular space meetings where they talk to each other, and there's also Murdered by Crayons, who's also really, really good with this, and have been investigating the Tates for years. And I really, really strongly recommend that you go to Gadget's channel and let him know that you were sent there by me, because I do talk to him a lot. So one of the 4 women suing the controversial influencer claimed Tate said, "You're going to do as I say or there will be hell to pay," in a court document seen by Mail Online. A second complainant alleged Tate strangled her during sex without her consent in 2015 and made it very clear that she was his, and if anyone else spoke to her, he would unalive them. A third woman claimed the influencer had said, "I'm just debating whether to grape you or not," before going on to have sex with her without her consent in 2013, while saying, "Who do you belong to?" according to the documents. Now that, if she hadn't consented, well, that is Grape. Straight and simple. The suit, which includes allegations of Grape, strangulation and assault, which reportedly took place between 2013 and 2015 in Luton and Hitchin. 2 women involved in the civil case are understood to have been in a relationship with Tate in 2013 and 2014, while the other claimants worked for his webcam firm in 2015. Tate has since hit back at the allegations in a written defence to the High Court, branding the allegations as gross fabrications and a pack of lies. As he has denied all the charges that are against him at the moment. But this fresh information of him pointing a pew-pew at this woman in her face is yet another piece of information that, in my opinion, goes to prove the despicable behaviour of the Tate brothers and how they treat women and how they teach young boys and men to treat women. He basically is another person who makes himself out to be a victim, uses Darvo a lot. Sorry, I'm just trying to find what else I wanted to say here. And I've written it down actually. His lawyer, Joseph McBride, made a statement to Vanity Fair about this alleged pew-pew in this woman's face that Andrew Tate is alleged to have pointed. Andrew Tate has formidable enemies who despise him, much like Trump's enemies despised Trump and Jesus's enemies despised Jesus. Putting this person in line with Trump makes sense because, you know, Trump is a convicted rapist. Jesus, I just feel that is, you know, gross, because not that I am a Christian, I am pagan, but I don't think that it's necessary to blaspheme. Andrew Tate is not without sin, he added. However, the idea that Andrew is a rapist or abuser of women is a fiction fabricated by his incel feminist enemies. Okay, so I'm a feminist, but I'm not an incel. I'm not involuntary celibate. I'm celibate by choice. If I meet somebody that comes along and is the right person for me, that may change. But right now, I am living my best life being single. It's going to come to the comments here. Deceased Goat, love the name. Speech calling for violence should be dealt with, but to brand any language suggesting it is certain groups as hate speech risk people being afraid to report actual crimes by them if they happen. Yeah, it does. It does, you know, stop people from reporting it. But we do need to try to perhaps speak to each other and get to understand each other and call out these things when and if we see them. You know, for example, I'm a feminist, and I had a man say something to me last year. We were at a function, a gathering, and we were talking about, or he was telling me a story about him being in a pub and things that he said to this woman. And one of the things that he said to this woman was, "You're asking for it because you're dressed like that." And that is a typical sort of usage of words from men. And I'm not saying all men, okay? But it's a typical usage of words by men to reason and to give an excuse as to why women are raped. So yeah, I called him out on it. I did. I said, "Whoa, you can't say that. That is wrong. You are saying that a woman is responsible for being raped because of the clothes she's wearing. Just because she's wearing a short skirt doesn't mean that it is an invitation for you to grape her." So yes, calling out those people with their language is, you know, if you feel that you are able to do it, then do it. If not, then you know, distance yourself from that person. I've had that in the past. I had somebody who was coming to do some work at my home, and they mentioned something that was incredibly racist, and they've never been back, and I will never allow them back because that is against my beliefs. That we are all equal as human beings. Diz, what are incel feminists? Apparently I am. Apparently we incel feminists are feminists who are involuntary celibate, because incel means involuntary celibate. Now that term came around in the mid 1990s, and was more widely used in the early 2000s, and then in the last sort of 5 years it's become a really popular phrase to use. And normally when we think of incels, we think of boys and men. However, there are female incels. Are they feminists? I don't know, but I'm a feminist. I'm not opposed to intercourse. That's not in my belief structure. I'm just a woman who is an advocate for other women. I want equality for women, not just in the West, but all around the world. So the work that I do is to educate people about FGM, educate people about what happens in Afghanistan with the women there that are not allowed to go to school, not allowed to study. They are not allowed to step outside without a man present, even if it's a family. It has to be a cousin or an uncle. They are not allowed to show any features. They have to generally wear full burqas. And they're not even allowed to stand in front of a window and look out of that window. And, this is not only those things that happen in Afghanistan, but those sort of things happen in other Middle Eastern countries. And I look at Africa and I look at Asia and I look at them and I know that there is sex trafficking, there is wife trafficking, there are so many horrible crimes against women in the Southern Hemisphere, in, countries that we sort of don't think about so much here in the West. Now, I lived in South Africa for 24 years of my life, from 1982 until 2006. So I'm very aware of what happens in those countries and what happens to those girls and women in those countries. And it is incredibly unfair and cruel. Diz sounds like an oxymoron. Well, it's a moron of some sort. Kate Smith, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Diz. Yeah, definitely. What can I say? It's, Joseph McBride, Tate's lawyer, possibly not the brightest man in the world. So, as I say, I'm celibate by choice, but that's my own choice. It's not that I'm forced to be. There's a guy on here that called me a MILF earlier on, which I thought was quite amusing. I've got no makeup on. I've been for a run. I'm going to go for another run after this. So, but thank you for the compliments. So I want to talk about Grape statistics as well here. And these are from the rape crisis here in England and Wales. Over the last week, I've had quite a few men, and I want to say not all men, again, on some of my videos that I've released this week, claiming that, men are raped as well. Yes, I agree, they are. Claiming that women on women in relationships is more prevalent than men on women. So basically talking about gay relationships. However, that's not true. Yes, it happens. I'm not denying that. But the vast majority of Grape happens to women from men or by men. So these are the statistics for the United Kingdom. Again, I will put these into the link in the description box once the live stream's finished. So 1 in 4 women have been raped or essayed since the age of 16. That's just since the age of 16. 1 in 6 children have been essayed. Now, it doesn't specify whether that's male or female. We know that it happens to boys as well. 1 in 18 men have been raped or essayed since the age of 16. So you can see there's a big difference in the figures there. 1 in 4 women, 1 in 18 men. And both crimes are horrific. I'm not saying that, what a man goes through is any less of a traumatic experience than what a woman goes through, but the figures show that it happens more often to women than it does to men. 69,958 grapes were recorded by police between the 1st of October 2023 and the 30th of September 2024. As of the 30th of September 2024, charges had been brought in just 2.7 of these cases. In other words, fewer than 3 in 100 grapes recorded by police between the 1st of October 2023 to the 30th of September 2024 resulted in someone being charged that same year, let alone convicted. So that's, you know, there are many reasons that women do not report grape. Diz, the conviction rate is a joke. It really is. I myself am a survivor, and I did try to press charges against my perpetrator, and there was an investigation, and the investigation was handed over to the sergeant at the police station, and he said that there was insufficient evidence to hand it over to the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Services. So, you know, there's this person out there that is now free and has not faced the justice for what they did to me. And that happens in many, many cases. It's a lot of women will say, oh, I don't want to ruin their life when it comes to pressing charges against men for grape, especially if it's a partner or a husband. And the vast majority of those cases are in a partnership or in a relationship, because we don't want to ruin their lives, but they've ruined our lives. So we sort of make this strange connection in our brain that we don't want to hurt them, even though they've hurt us. We don't want to hurt them. Kate, free speech comes with responsibility to not harm others. Definitely, Kate. Absolutely, definitely. Definitely. I agree with you there. With free speech, we should be lifting people up, not pushing people down. Just my opinion. Survivors face long waits for their cases to reach a courtroom. After being reported to the police, adult grape cases take an average of 2 years to complete in court, with many taking far longer. Meanwhile, there's currently a record number of offences cases that are waiting to go to court, 11,918, and a record number of adult grape cases, 3,498, and child grape cases, 1,646. I mean, there should not be child grape case. There shouldn't be any grape cases, but child. I did a video yesterday, I think, Kate, I think you may have watched it, about a man in South Africa, his surname is Ferreira, I can't remember his first name now, who graped his 8-day-old daughter to give her something to cry about. 8 days old. Yeah, I can't. When I saw that story, I cried. I actually cried, because that poor little girl did not deserve that. She really didn't. So yeah, all these SA charges that are waiting to go to court. Who carries out grape and other sexual offences? 1 in 2 grapes against women are carried out by their partner or ex-partner. Yeah. And a lot of those do not even get to be reported. 91% of people prosecuted for sexual offences are men aged 18 plus. 91%. So there's 9% women. 6 in 7 grapes against women are carried out by someone they know. I was going to go through the myths of Grape, but I'll do that next time because I'm running short of time here and I don't want to overstep, because I think Daily Blase goes live at 5, doesn't he? And I think maybe All Shorts does as well. So I don't want to encroach on their time because they're brilliant shows. If you don't watch them, have a look. Kate or Diz, if you can pop a link into the chat for Daily Blase and All Shorts, that I would really appreciate that, because I don't know how to do these things. It would take me forever because my PC is ancient. Diz, that's horrible. I feel sick. Yeah, I feel sick too over the whole thing. Kate, the Tates have gone to the Trump side too. Yep, they have. Whose regime has arranged for their release to the US while they await trial. How is this not going to pressure the Romanian government? Right, well, what's happened since then is they flew back to Romania they had to go to court on the 25th of March. Another delay in those charges against them because the legal team, Joseph McBride of the Tates, is obviously bringing forward whatever rubbish he can to try and get certain pieces of evidence thrown out of court. As I said, there are 75,000 pages of evidence. 75,000 pages of evidence. Go check out Gadget's YouTube channel if you can. He is brilliant. He's got all the information on the Tates. He's done a huge amount of investigation into them, and he is currently looking at being sued by the Tates himself, which is hilarious because everything that he said is what is actually out there on the internet and is available to be found. And then I believe that they have flown to Dubai. So yeah, who knows what will happen to them in the future? The fact that they were able to go back to the States, it's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous that we allow famous, rich people to get away with these crimes when other people don't. And, nobody should get away with these crimes. Justice should be served to anybody who commits these crimes. There are 2 instances. There's one in Belgium recently. Let me find this case. I'm actually going to be doing a video on this during the next week. Medical student guilty of Grape walks free because of career potential and youth. This man's 24. So he's not young. He's 24. And guess what he's studying to become? A gynecologist. And he graped this girl. She was a student, somebody that he knew. She became sort of, inebriated in some way, not sure if she was drugged. And he took her to her student residence and, well, yeah. But the judge said that because he's young and he's talented, he can get away with it. What does that say to the victims of Grape? Yeah, it's infuriating when these things happen. It really is infuriating. Brock Turner, another one, he was in California. I'm going to be covering that with this case of this man in Belgium. His name has not been released, the man in Belgium, so I can't give you any name. But Brock Turner was also told that the judge said that they didn't want to ruin his life, and he was given 3 months and the sentence was suspended. What does this tell the victims? What does this tell women who are raped by men? It tells them that why should they even bother, pressing charges against these crimes? Why should they bother going to the police? Because if this is what happens when, when they report these charges, the trauma that a woman goes through with this, and taking that, it takes 2 years to come to court here in the UK. That woman has to live with that trauma throughout those 2 years. Starting the healing process from that kind of trauma is then delayed because she has to speak about it in court all over again. Okay, I'm going to end off with a happy story. I was going to do a few other things, but this is a really happy story for women. It's popped up on my news feed last night. It's from Good News. What's it called? Good News Network. And because I lived in South Africa for such a long time, I feel a strong affinity with Africa. So in Zimbabwe, the heading is Solar Tricycle Startup Helps Entrepreneurial Women Be Drivers of Change in Africa. So in Zim, an African-born mobility startup is providing women with the catalyst they need to drive change in their community and society. Called the Hamba, this durable electric tricycle is mobilizing a generation of working women and mothers, allowing them to perform arduous tasks with relative ease and comfort. Now, Hamba itself stems from the Zulu term Hambagashile, which means to go well. And so I think it's a really good name that they've chosen. Now, if any of you have seen African women carrying their goods on their heads, they do that. I don't know how, but I've seen it. They balance them there and they do that. So this is now giving them an opportunity to use these scooters to, get rid of that and for them to be able to better their lives. Manufactured in Africa and managed by the Startup Mobility for Africa, a leasing program for women allowed one or several locals to lease a Hamba for $15 a month, that's Zimbabwean dollars, which is such a small amount of money. Really is a very, very small amount of money. This pilot program was a huge success, and now these electric tricycles are available to buy on a lease to purchase agreement and to rent, all on an ad hoc basis. How brilliant is this? It allows women to fetch water and firewood, take family members to medical centres, or bring and buy produce at local markets, saving sometimes dozens of miles of walking each day. In the past, transporting our produce to the market was a nightmare. We would wake up at 3 a.m. and travel a very long distance using an ox-drawn cart. But now it is much easier. We can reach the market on time. A 30-year-old tomato farmer and mother of 6, Hilda Takadini, told Africa News. 92% of female customers participating in the company's pilot program noted an improvement in how safe they feel whilst traveling since they started using the Hamba compared with walking. And some have offered their services as couriers and drivers to other community members, sparking the spirit of entrepreneurialism. I just think that's absolutely wonderful because, yeah, it is a fact that African women suffer more grape than we do in the West. Far more. Far, far more. In South Africa, for example, now this is not all the different tribes that live there, but many of the men, and I believe definitely in the Zulu nation, many of the Zulu men have more than one wife. And obviously the amount of children they have is phenomenal because the women do not have access to, birth control. The men often refuse to use protection. And of course, AIDS is very, very common over there. And this gets, passed through these, horrible happenings. But that is part of their culture. So, that's something that needs to be looked at with some sort of special view to that. I remember I used to work for a company called XPS in South Africa, a courier and freight company affiliated to FedEx, and our long distance drivers would drive from Joburg to Cape Town, and many of them would stop and pick up, workers. And that was also something that we had to monitor in our drivers, was if they had AIDS or not. Let me just have a look. Hi Scott, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. Diz, smash that like button, chat. Thank you very much, Diz. Yay, good news. Yeah, it is good news. It's such a nice story to finally see something that is happening to women that is positive. It really, really is. That's a lovely story. It's when housework in the UK was made easier through technology that freed up women's time and energy. I hope this also helps them to build better lives. Me too, Kate. I mean, when I lived there, you know, and it's still today in the shanty towns, we call them townships there, you know, like Tembisa and Soweto and District 6 in Cape Town. People live in tin shacks. It's one room. And, you know, the whole family can live in that room. They don't have access to heating. Not that you need much heating, but in winter it does get very, very cold. And they actually used car thingies that fit on the wheel, can't remember the name of them now, as radiators. So they would hack into the electricity with electric starters and have that burning to give them heat. They would wash their clothes in dirty, filthy rivers. They would, you know, have to walk miles for water. So these kind of little tiny changes that are being made, you know, in the African communities are absolutely brilliant, absolutely amazingly brilliant. And I hope that this sort of thing carries on for those communities. I really, really do. I'm going to link all of these articles that I've spoken from today. I'm going to link them into the description box when I've finished recording the video. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Spacey. I've called you Kevin because of Kevin Spacey. Blessings to you as well. Oh, it's your hubs. Okay, lovely. Thank you. That's really great. Empower women and change the world. Mobility is a good thing. It is, Scott, and we need to empower women. More women need to be empowered. I mean, when we look at the West, a lot of Western men will say, oh, but we're equal. I'm not going to discuss that right now because that's a whole video on its own. But the South and Asian countries, African, Asian and South American countries, women are far, far, far from equal. And those are the places that we need to focus on helping and trying to, with whatever little amount we can do, trying to help them and empower them. Like Kate said, you know, when women in the West got things such as washing machines, I mean, these ladies in Africa wash their clothes with the old scrubbing board, you know, feeding their kids what they call pap and vors, which is... pap is like a mealie meal. It's made from corn. It looks a lot like flour, but it's corn, and it's starch. It's a strong starch that they eat a lot of, and you can buy it in big sacks. And then you have like a sauce that goes over the top of that. That's what they live on, and so they're not getting this full diet, which is why a lot of African women that you see are large. But that's another thing that's different in Africa is the larger the woman, the more attractive she is. So, you know, we all have these conceptions of what a woman should look like or should be like, but it differs from culture to culture. Let's have a look here. Great stream, Witchy. Thank you, Diz. Thank you so much. Kate, bleaching plastic bottles placed in the roof brings light into dark shanty towns. A simple but effective technology. Ah, I didn't know that, Kate. That's really interesting. Really, really interesting. I'll have to have a look with my friends. I just wanted to talk about quickly before I go, because I'm very into my music. And it was sad this week that Clem Burke, the drummer for Blondie, passed away at the age of 70. He had cancer. And the band are gutted. He also appeared with Pete Townsend and Iggy Pop and Bob Dylan. And he was the backbone of Blondie. I absolutely love Blondie. I remember when Parallel Lines first came out and Atomic and Heart of Glass. Still some of my favourite tracks. And I actually have the album still on vinyl. So rest in peace, Clem. Another loss to the music world. I'm going to finish off very quickly with a little phrase that I found today, which I think is brilliant. Drinking a large amount of water every day helps you avoid other people's drama because you're so busy peeing. Stay hydrated. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your messages. Please share the channel. Please click the like button. It would really, really help me. I do want to build the subscribers on the channel, and just thank you to all of my new subscribers. I want to build the group. I would love to reach 1,000 subs so that I can start monetizing the channel. I need to earn a living, and also need some decent equipment because I'm recording this on my phone. YouTube will only let me record this in portrait mode and not landscape mode. So yeah, I need to get a camera. I need to get a proper microphone because I've only got the clip-on one. My old PC needs to be upgraded so that I can start editing the videos in a much more professional manner than I already do. And I'd love to be able to pop up these articles on screen with you while I'm talking through them, like so many of the other wonderful YouTubers that I follow. Guys, if you, I'm going to give some shout outs to some other channels. As I said, Daily Blase should be coming on now. There's another guy, All Shorts, I'm not he goes live. We've got Maximilian Robespierre, who also goes live. I think he goes live on a Friday evening, and then I think it's 9 or 9:30, Politics Social. Brilliant channel hosted by Graham Hughes. Absolutely fantastic. I might not be on that live tonight because I've got other stuff going on. I've got to study. I've got my final exam coming up. But thank you for the love hearts. So please go and share, check out their channels, follow them. Some great people out there that put out some really brilliant content. So I just want to say thank you. Parallel Lines, seminal album, fantastic. You're welcome, Scott. Fantastic show, love me. Oh, Jamie, mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Oh, and it's full moon tomorrow night. I was going to talk about that, but there is no time. It's 5 o'clock. The cats want their tea, and I have to stand up to turn this blooming thing off. So you get to see my Just Strong gear that I'm the ambassador for. So blessed be.